I just wanted to see how I would look on this camera. I got another phone, new phone, and I have to do videos so that I could post them on YouTube about how I lost 106 pounds in 9 months. Got to tell the world about it. Listen, man, that was no easy feat, and there's a lot of people out here that want to lose weight, but they struggling with where to start, what to do. A lot of people has always suggested that people go in the gym and start these serious exercises. Listen, man, I didn't have to do none of that. All I did was change everything that I was eating. I went from eating every damn thing except pork, and I occasionally ate pork. I ain't gonna lie, there's times I did eat bacon, even though I was saying I don't eat pork, like a lot of people. It's crazy that a lot of people wouldn't eat pork, but they do drugs. They smoke weed, they pop perks, they drink alcohol. They're just as damaging to the body, but we all say, I don't eat pork. So now I got past that. Let me tell you what I did. I started eating fruits and vegetables. I stopped eating a lot of the rice, the bread, a lot of them. I got the meat off the table. It took me 5 months to get all of this stuff off of my table and get it down to just fruits and vegetables. Soon as I got to just fruits and vegetables, 5 months, my blood pressure had already lowered to almost normal. And I was a guy who I thought I'd be on blood pressure medicine for the rest of my life because, you know, I don't know too many people that take blood pressure medicine and ever get off of it. And I never wanted to be the type that would be over 50 years old and on medication. So, you know, I just had the right circumstances to motivate me. Stomach was so large that I couldn't bend over and tie my shoe. My ankles were swollen to the size of my thighs. I would sweat just from blinking. You know, I mean, I used to sweat profusely. And I remember a sister named Alicia. My girl, Alicia, what's up, Alicia? Alicia said, Mike, you need to go see a doctor. Something is wrong. But, you know, I never want to go to the doctor. I don't want nobody to tell me something is wrong with me. So I wouldn't go to the doctor. Finally, I went to the doctor to find out I had high blood. I was already experiencing acid reflux, athlete's feet, erectile dysfunction. I knew I was in bad shape, but didn't want to go to the doctor because I know first thing they want to do is give you medicine. And they cannot give you a medicine that don't create another problem. So I wasn't going to the doctor. Didn't want to, but I went that time only to find out I had all of these problems going on. But the fortunate thing for me was I knew a lot about fruits and vegetables. I knew a lot about fasting. I used foods and herbs to help my wife, who was given 6 months to live. And once I started altering her menu, they say diet, I say menu, because menu leaves you a choice, whereas diet is a restriction. So I altered her menu, and my wife was able to stay here for 14 years past their 6 month prediction. So I knew something, but after she passed, I went back to eating everything that I was used to eating. I started dealing with women from different cultures, different countries, and, you know, what Dr. Sebi told me in 2004 was everybody lives on blood and starch. And I got a chance to experience that. I was dealing with women from Panama, women from Puerto Rico, man, you name the country. I probably dealt with one of them sisters, man, and they did not eat good. You know, everything was starch, blood and starch. Sometimes we would have a meal that had potatoes and rice on the plate at the same time. So as a result of doing that, I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then say around, I think it was like 2018 or 19, I tried to stop a young boy from attacking his mother. Got in the middle of that. He pushed me. I spent around. The upper part of my body spent around, but the lower, my feet stayed planted. And I heard pop, pop. I mean, I could actually hear it. And I fell straight to the ground. And a man who was on a cane tried to pick me up and stand me up, but I couldn't stand up. I had no legs. I just asked them, if y'all get me to my house, I'll work this out. And when they threw me in the back of a car, Sister Keita Black drove me home to my house, and I got help to my steps. And I crawled up my steps, the first 4 steps onto the porch, got inside my house, and I crawled on my knees to my steps, and I went up my steps backward, and I made it to my bedroom. And when I laid on the bed, I couldn't believe it. I said to myself, damn, I can't walk no more. And, you know, it bothered me, but in my mind, something said, I'm going to walk again. And I used to joke with all my friends and tell them, listen, I don't care what you say. I'm going to do the electric slide again. I was a DJ for 47 years, so that was the one thing I used to see people do. So all I kept thinking about is one day I will dance again. So there I was, off my feet, on crutches. I had women around me, so they took care of me and took care of everything that I needed. But I realized that if I'm ever going to walk again, I don't need to have everybody taking care of everything for me. I used to crawl on the floor through my house and try to stand up, holding on the furniture, arms at a couch, make it to a table. You know what I mean? This is how I was moving through my house. And I would make it outside to the porch, sit on the porch for hours, watching people walk, watching children play and run, and all I kept telling everybody, that's all right, one day I'm going to do the electric slide again. And I just kept that in my mind. By the time, let's say around August the 8th, 2021, I did go see a doctor. They told me my blood pressure was so high that they couldn't let me leave without taking blood pressure medicine. And I didn't want to take the medicine, but it was the only way they were going to let me leave. So I took the medicine. I took blood pressure medicine about 4 times because I wound up in another facility and my blood pressure was high and they said, we cannot let you leave. You got to take this medicine or we'll be liable. So I took the medicine there too. But I was about to move to Atlanta. I made my mind up. I'm going to move from Wilmington, Delaware to Atlanta, Georgia. And the only thing I had on my mind is I'm going to change my condition. I caught the bus from Wilmington to Atlanta. It was the most miserable ride I ever been on because I was big. I had to go through the aisle on crutches. When I had to use the bathroom, I had to struggle to get up, struggle to get to the bathroom, struggle to get in and out of the bathroom, and then make it back to my seat. This was a chore. When I ended up in Atlanta, I get off the bus, I called my friend Ace to pick me up. Ace picked me up. And soon as I looked at him looking at me, I knew I was fucked up. Me and Ace talked about everything. Ace was my partner. We started a record company together in 1990 and up in New York. Had a recording studio in Wilmington, Delaware. We talked about everything. I knew that he knew that I knew enough about health not to be in my condition. So I was embarrassed as soon as he saw me. But he overlooked it. We talked. Went to a restaurant, and when we got out the car, he just walked to the restaurant at his normal pace. And when he looked back, he opened the door and looked back. I was just getting out of the car, and I'm struggling to hurry up with the crutches to get to the restaurant and get to the entrance of the restaurant and get inside the building. And we sat, we talked, we ate, and I told him what my intention was. Told him I had a plan, and that plan was to get at least 86 pounds off of me. I was 286 pounds. And I told him I wanted to get down to 200 pounds. And one thing he said, well, Mike, if anybody can do it, it's you. You can do it. So he gave me that, and he dropped me off at a motel on Candler Road. I stayed there that one night. I called my cousin Patty Whittle. I love you, Patty. Patty came and picked me up to take me to Ellenwood to stay at my cousin Rick J's house, Rick Whittle. And when I got there, Patty, dropped me off, and she looked down at my ankles while I was standing beside her truck, and she said, Mike, look at your ankles. My ankles were swollen to the size of my thighs. I couldn't tie my shoes, so I walked on the back of them. And I said to Patty, I know, I'm going to fix it. But the feeling I felt, listen, if I could have put my feet in my pocket, I would have. I just wanted to hide them, but I couldn't do that. But I told my cousin Patty Whittle, I'm going to fix it. I landed at my cousin Rick's house September the 28th, 2021. He lives right next door to a Walmart. I went over to the Walmart and I bought me a juicer and a scale. I weighed myself. I weighed 286 pounds. And in my mind, I kept telling me, I'm going to lose this 86 pounds. So I knew it would take fruits and vegetables. I knew it would take some herbs. I knew I would have to increase my water. But that day, I made my mind up and I started my journey. And I lost 106 pounds in 9 months.